Well, hey everyone, Mason here, and I had a question about a week ago, specifically about rain gear and what I use, but I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to just go over my riding gear and how I layer it up and what I use for every different scenario that we come across, because up here, if you don't like the weather, you just wait an hour and it changes. That's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through everything that I wear and how it's evolved and to where it is today. All right, let's have a look.
Welcome back to Mason's ADV. Ride along with us as we explore off the beaten path, head out for some adventure bike camping, and keep you updated on modifications and new gear for adventure riding. Be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any adventures. Glad to have you along for the ride.
Okay, so obviously I didn't start out with this gear. This has been a culmination, I suppose, of stuff over the years and evolution of riding and experimenting with different systems and layering. I've just gone with like a complete layering system, and we're just going to go over that here. Some of the guys that I ride with do a very similar thing. Other guys have one-piece sets that they can remove layers and add layers. So it's all kind of the same thing, whether you buy it in one jacket or whether you build your own. It's all the same principle, you know. You have a rain layer that you take out. In my case, I have a rain layer that I add. Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but let's just have a look at what I wear now. So underneath my gear, and most of the guys do this, but under the gear, I wear Under Armour heat gear. And this is my base layer. So what this does is it pulls the moisture away from your skin. So if you've ever had a set of your riding pants on and you're either just in your boxers or you're wearing a pair of shorts underneath, and you know how sticky and gross it gets between your legs and your pants. You get this as you sweat, your riding pants are sticking to your legs, and this just keeps everything all away from your skin. You feel dry, it wicks the moisture away, and as you have your vents opened, that cool air wash on something like this Under Armour gear actually has quite a cooling effect, and it works really well. And it's the same thing, even though these are long sleeve shirts, it still pulls the moisture away. Your arms don't stick to your jacket, and mine is a mesh, and as the air blows through the mesh, it has this massive cooling effect. It's like wearing it's like air conditioning underneath your jacket. And this stuff I wear for the entire season, right from spring to fall. This is always my base layer. I've got a bunch of different ones. Some are Under Armour, some aren't. I seem to always go back to the Under Armour brand, though. It stands up, it's quite durable, and it works really well. So that's my base layer. And then we'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way up. So these boots I've had 6 years now. These are the Alpine Stars Toucan Gore-Tex boots. These have been amazing. Now, they have another line underneath this that has a different waterproof system in it, and guys give that boot a great review too. But I kind of went with the one and done philosophy on these and decided to spring for the Gore-Tex. And this year we've done a couple water crossings where we had to sort of have a quick look first, and I mean, I've had water up. You can see how high that gusset goes there on the front. And so you're waterproof right until that point, which is, I don't know, 10 inches or so. And so the test on the boots again this year, even after all the abuse they've been through for the last several years, they still kept me dry. But the one below it apparently works really well as well. So those are my boots, and those obviously are dry weather, wet weather, doesn't matter. I am armored, protected, and dry. So that's the boots. It's sort of an all-rounder there. My pants now, I wear the, this is the Carlsbad pant. I think it's kind of evolved over the years. You may have an older gen or seen a newer gen of these, but the Carlsbad pant works really nice because, again, it's Gore-Tex, so it is my rain layer, even though I wear it 24/7 on the bike. It's got side pockets, and it's got big vents that go right through to the inside on the front and back of the leg. So when those are all open, the airflow when you're on the bike and you're seated, these tend to open up nice, and you get a really nice wash of air through them. Been extremely durable because on the trips, obviously, I wear these for a week straight, and I've done that every year since I've bought them. Plus, I wear them every time I ride. There is no wear on the inside of the cuff. The leather here on the inside of the knees, although it's showing that, you know how leather wears a little bit, and it is around the edges. It's starting to wear, but it's still in great shape. The stitching's all still good. Have a look at the other one. Yep, everything's standing up really well. And when the vents are closed, these pants are 100% waterproof. Again, with that gusseted top flap there, even at the zip, once it's done up, there's no water running in the bottom of the zip because this gusset keeps it all out. I've changed the armor actually, but good armor in there. I wear them all of the time. Vents open if it's hot, vents closed if it's cool, or vents closed if it's raining. And so that's something else that I don't change, whether it's dry, cold, warm, wet. These pants get me through everything. And then that brings us up to my jacket. So, like I said, I wear the Under Armour base layer. And then typically, I just wear my mesh jacket. Now this is the Climb Induction jacket. It's full mesh all the way around. The arms, the chest, the sides where the pockets aren't mesh. The shoulders aren't mesh. That's that high abrasion resistance stuff. But then the back is full mesh as well. And lots of airflow through this. Awesome on warm days. It's absolutely fantastic. So when it's really hot out, that's what my base layer and this jacket are designed for, is when it's really hot. Now, if it gets cooler, underneath this, I run some form of a quarter zip. This happens to be the Climb quarter zip, but I also have a merino wool quarter zip that's very thin that I can also fit underneath this jacket. And both of those are really nice base layers, and then, or mid layers, sorry. So I have my base layer, then this is my mid layer, then I have my mesh on, and if it's really cold or wet, then I go to my Gore-Tex shell. Now over the years that has changed too. So I used to run an old North Face jacket that the guys that I ride with laugh at me about it, but I had that jacket for, oh my goodness, 20 years, 20 plus years, and it went on every trip with me. But it got to the point, unfortunately, where it stopped being waterproof. So last year before the trip, I needed a new shell, so I stopped in at my local outfitters and I picked up this Mountain Hardware. It's a single layer Gore-Tex, super lightweight. It fits over my shell or over my mesh jacket perfectly. It just has a very simple Velcro at the cuff. It's got the hood, which I love because this also is my either my town jacket, or if we're on a trip and sitting around and it's raining, it's nice to have the hood. So this is what I wore last year. Now, this has kind of been commandeered by one of my daughters. She's been wearing it back and forth to school if it's wet. So rather than always constantly looking for my shell, this past winter I decided to spend some money and get the Climb shell. Just a second, it's in here. Now this one is heavier and doesn't quite pack as small as the Mountain Hardwear one, but it's 3-layer Gore-Tex, which is going to be much more durable. Still has the hood, very similar layout. This one is the Stowaway Pro. It comes with its own bag if you want to use it, little waterproof bag that it goes in. But you get 3-layer Gore-Tex, which is a little bit heavier than the single layer on the Mountain Hardwear. It's designed for use on, you know, bikes or snowmobiles or anything like that. If you're running and the rain stops and it gets hot, it's got these long zips right up underneath the armpits. So there's a lot of nice features about something that's specifically built for a motorcycle. It's got some reflectivity on the shoulders, but other than that, it's quite plain. Good pockets up front, good underarm zips, the hood with some adjustment, and the back is just plain. Like I said, you get a good heavy 3-layer Gore-Tex on this one, and I'm dry as a bone when I'm wearing it. Now this also fits over my shell. I had to upsize it one from what I would typically wear. This is an extra large. So when this is on me as my town jacket, it is a little bit bulky, but it's not too bad. Sleeves are good for length. It's got a nice depth on it. So that's my rain gear. And then of course it layers on top of my mesh if it's raining or if it's cold. So here, I'll throw the mesh on. So that's the Climb induction mesh. Armor, elbows, shoulders, and back pad. And then I have my Stowaway Pro that goes right over top of it. And I'm dry as a bone. Good Velcro at the cuffs. So that's my rain gear now. But like I said, that's an evolution of rain gear. I certainly didn't start off this high end, but it's nice to have finally gotten myself here. That old Gore-Tex jacket of mine did really well for 20 years of my riding career. Even when I had the ZX12, the North Face jacket went with me everywhere. I pulled it on over top of my other ballistic jacket that I used to wear. And I find that if you have a good rain jacket, and it doesn't matter really what one it is, but ideally it's Gore-Tex because it allows it to breathe. As you get hot, the pores in the Gore-Tex open and it allows some of that moisture out. I mean, you guys know how Gore-Tex works. It's a brilliant design. The pores aren't big enough for water to come in, but the pores open up big enough to allow moisture to escape. And there's a little bit of it's a lot better than wearing a garbage bag over yourself, which is what a typical rain jacket is. And boy, do you get hot. You end up being almost wetter on the inside than you are on the outside. So over the years, certainly this gear over the last 5 years, building up to this point has really been nice. I've got good waterproof boots and pants, and then my jacket system is just completely convertible. Right from mesh in the hottest weather through to layering up if it's cold, and if it's really cold out, I put my mid layer on and my rain jacket that blocks the wind, and then I'm just toasty. And then of course that carries me through the rain too. So yeah, there it is. I hope that's helpful. Like I said, building up a layering system seems to work the best for me and most of the guys that I ride with. But each to their own, and I think you need to experiment with it. The problem is that a lot of this gear is expensive, so if you try something and don't like it, it tends to be a costly mistake. So the pants were a real game changer for me. When I went and bought those Carlsbad pants on one of our first trips, It was night and day difference. The pants I was wearing, I was dying in, and these with the vents open just felt like heaven. And then when it sealed right up, because the Gore-Tex stops the wind, they're actually quite warm. So best of both worlds. So a lot of climb gear here now. It fits well, it's durable, it's designed well. You pay a premium for it, but it's like once it comes in, if it fits you, you're good, you're done. And I love that. The pants now, that's year 4, I believe, with those. The mesh jacket used to be the field shear, which is up there, which my passengers wear if they come with me. So I think the induction jacket, I think I've had it, this is its 2nd season. This is the 1st season for the Gore-Tex Pro jacket, and I've worn the mid-layer for a couple years now too. So I can attest to the fact that this stuff all stands up well. Gore-Tex boots have been incredible. They get a bit of a squeak to them from time to time because there's a lot of plastic bits outside that are armor and kind of move around. So I just give them a shot of silicone and stop the squeak. And other than that, they're fantastic. So there we go. That's the list. Head to toe. Oh, I didn't mention gloves. I run the 5 gloves. I don't know where they are. Oh, there they are. The one thing I don't have that's waterproof is I do not have Gore-Tex gloves. Actually, I do, but I never wear them. And here's why. Gore-Tex gloves are great provided you have them on before it starts raining and you never take them off. As soon as you take off your gloves and do something on your bike or have to work on something and you pull them back on, all of a sudden you're wet inside anyway. So I just run these year round. They're just a vented 5 mesh glove. If it's cold, I have my heated grips on. If it's wet, I turn my heated grips on. A little bit of heat dries the palms out. And so I've just given up on all the other stuff. Just a very basic set of gloves, but these are like 4 seasons in and still standing up great. No stitches broken. A little bit of wear, you know, clutch and brake finger. But all in all, man, they've done really well. So I highly recommend the 5 gloves. And yeah, and so that's the list. The helmet, I run the Shoei Hornet X2. Again, with the vents closed, it's dry. I have the tinted visor in right now because I'm just running in the day. But the Shoei helmet, that completes the outfit. So there we go, guys. A little overview of how I layer up for the different conditions. This is all field tested. This isn't, I'm not making it up. We've spent, a lot of our trips have started in the cold and midweek been really hot and ended in rain. So it works right through just about any climate we can get into up here. Yeah, all right. And that's where I'll leave you. Thanks again for watching. As always, mind how you go. I hope you're out riding, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.